microwave foil or the oil, they annoy you. You add another snick for the wrong reasons. Election years now seeming like full-blown seasons.
Let's talk about the NWA for a moment. All right, so the Pope defeated Colby Carino. He came out there and cut a promo. And Pope was really energized about being in Kentucky or whatever. Talk about it sends shivers up and down his spine. Colby Carino came out there with the Fixers, who is Wrecking Ball Legursky, who sounds like something out of a Frank Miller comic book, and Jay Bradley, a journeyman who's been around for like 400 years. They couldn't help him. Of course, Colby Carino loses. Now, interesting thing here is Pope did an interview where he said once that Dusty Rhodes is the closest thing to black representation that he had as a wrestling fan growing up, which is truly sad. That's truly sad. I don't know where Pope grew up at, but I'm guessing he's from Florida, right? So I'm thinking, well, that may make sense. He's like 40 years old. He's from Florida. It may make sense. But does that explain why he does Dusty all the time? That sounds like it might be an explanation. But they really got a guy named Wrecking Ball Legursky. I just can't. He sounds like he breaks legs for the mob. So, so the Fixers, they beat up a couple of guys called the Ill Begotten in the next match. Then they says Jay Bradley said the Fixers are for hire. Then the OGK come out there. The OGK being Matt Taven and Mike Bennett of Ring of Honor fame. Somebody must have known about the Ring of Honor's financial troubles, because almost all of their guys just started popping up in other places. Like the Briscoes popped up in GCW. Now the OGK are popping up in NWA. It's almost as if people probably knew for a while that the financial issues of the Ring of Honor and that things were going to go a little bit south. And you know what? I should have noticed it too when I started seeing Jonathan Gresham take so many indie dates. Like, he was doing indie dates, but he wasn't doing as many as he started doing this year. And I thought maybe, okay, it's pandemic. He's just trying to catch those checks because it's pandemic time. But nope. So, look, the amount of places willing to give Matt Taven money to wrestle got to be few and far between. I'm not surprised to see him here in NWA. I think both him and Bennett, I think they both fit in the NWA. Bennett was pretty upset about the ROH situation, but I'm pretty sure he was going to fall into this anyway. Between United Wrestling Network, which as far as I know still exists, they just crowned a world champion, so I'm sure it still exists. Between that and the NWA, Mike Bennett should continue to have a job. Matt Taven is, look, Matt Taven, not saying that he doesn't have some good matches, but if I could watch a show and not have Matt Taven, that would be better. That would be preferable to a show with Matt Taven. Same thing with Mike Bennett. But they actually did pretty good here. They wrestled the Fixers and they won. And, they started doing the hands on the waist, which I haven't seen in a long time. Like, people don't really do that anymore. The old hand, the belt sign. It's been a while since I've seen somebody do that. But they started doing that already. They win one match and they won a title shot. But I guess since the tag team division in the NWA is trash, it's essentially one team. So, okay, that's fine. I don't mind it. So, I hope they don't win them because I don't want Mike Bennett to ever succeed. That's a lie. I don't care if he succeeds or not. I just have to say something funny in this position. All right, so Sal Reyna and Jirith are going to have a match, and I wondered why. Why are they having a match? And then they explained it. Sal Reyna wants to be the number one contender to the national title, but Jirith is the number one contender. So they made a bet that if Sal Reyna wins, he gets to become the number one contender for the national championship. But if he loses, then he can't challenge for the national championship in 18 months. So he has an 18-month ban of wrestling for the national title. Considering I don't ever think Sal Reyna has ever wrestled for the national title, I'm pretty sure this 18 months are going to be pretty simple. It's going to be pretty easy. because he's a job guy. James Mitchell did a good job of explaining why he chose 18 months. Considering he said it's 666, so 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. So that's where he got the 18 months from. So Sal Reyna cuts a promo and says that, the reason he made this deal was because he's in a box. And that, all these new guys are coming into the NWA. He's been there from the beginning, since day one of Powerrr. And everybody keeps passing him up. And he didn't want people to just pass him by. So he wants to lay it all on the line. And he still got dominated, got hit with a razor's edge and pinned. So nothing changed except for a guy who was never going to challenge for a title anyway. Now can't challenge for a title. That's fine, I guess. Jirith is shit. Oh, he's not good. Sal Reyna, he looks weird. He looks like he belongs in the Special Olympics, but Jirith is not good. He ain't good. He's boring as shit. I like the Sinister Minister. I like James Mitchell. I wish he could get more of a role and maybe Impact, or it would be nice if the Sinister Minister was like involved with Malachi Black in AEW. That would be sweet. But him just doing generic occultish stuff in NWA is fine too, I guess. Fifth match. Yes, 5 matches. Thunder Kitty and Tootie Lynn versus the Hex for the NWA Women's Tag Team Championships. Thunder Kitty's gimmick is that she's from the 1950s. That's her gimmick, is that she's from the 1950s. In hairstyle, match gear, and everything, pasty white skin, the whole 9 yards. And I just said to myself, this is not the first time I've seen her. I've seen her. She was on Empower last time. Not the Empower episode of Power, but the Empower event. And I just kind of shrugged then, and I'm shrugging now. It's an interesting gimmick, that's for sure. I think it does a good job of accentuating how old she looks. Because she's probably not as old as she looks, but she looks really old. Tootie Lynn, I've seen a lot of her on NWA. I haven't seen her anywhere else, though. But she's okay. The Hex win with the elevated pedigree finish. After the match, they cut a promo where they talked about wanting to fight whoever they want and fight wherever they want and whenever they want. And that they're going to ruin people's lives. And Hex marks the spot, which is a very generic promo. It really meant nothing. We get a promo package for Cyan, the Masked Man, versus Tyrus. They're going to wrestle for the television title in December at the next pay-per-view. And Cyan is going to wrestle in the main event against Big Strong Mims. Matthew Mims, a guy who has never won a single match in the NWA. At least not that I've seen. I've never seen Matthew Mims win a single match in the NWA. And he's in the main event of this show, giving Cyan a hard time. Now, he seems to have come across a character. And he was usually he went from being Matthew Mims, regular job guy, to just being Mims. Now he's Big Strong Mims. And he's wearing gear that says Big Strong Mims. And I was just kind of like shrugging, like, okay, I guess it's a start, Maybe if he can cut a promo or something like that, they might have something. But it's interesting watching him progress. And I don't mind watching people progress. He went from being, again, very bland, nobody, to still being quite bland, but at least he's got something to build on. So Cyan confronted Austin Idol before the match. He just basically stared at him. And Austin Idol cut a promo on him about how Tyrus is going to beat his ass and take his mask. He went in there and had this hard-fought match with Mims, won the match by submission, then went back out there, and Austin Idol cut a promo on him again, promising that Tyrus is going to beat him up and take his mask. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. Not really. Cyan is okay, I guess. I'm not really interested in who it is, though. I don't feel like I care enough about who Cyan is. And plus, I think he's going to win anyway. So I don't really think too much about it. It would be nice if Cyan was Jordan Clearwater. That would be dope. I don't think they would do that. But it would be dope if it's like in that particular match, Jordan Clearwater is Scion, and maybe he loses and unmasks him and it's Jordan Clearwater. And then, he has to wrestle the real Scion or something like that. That would be cool, because I like Jordan Clearwater. I think he has something. But I just think he needs a personality. He's a very young guy. As far as I know, he's probably like 26 or something like that. He's pretty young. But they're not doing a good job of really elevating him or highlighting him. So that's why I think he should be Scion at the end of the day. But I don't know. So that was the episode of part 1 of By Any Means Necessary episode of NWA Powerrr. Not much on the bone there, except for the OGK doing their debut. And since they beat up 2 guys I do not care about, one of which is actually Jay goddamn Bradley, who I haven't seen since he was an Impact. I couldn't care less. For starters, it's Matt Taven and wrestling Jay Bradley, and I can tell you what, not interested. So it is not my favorite episode of NWA Powerrr, but it was an episode of NWA Powerrr that happened. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, donate to the channel. Thank you guys for your time, and I'll be talking to you guys later.